Hey, what is up guys? That was a powerful intro. It is me, CR here, bringing you an intro to After Hours. So I was thinking recently I've only done Final Quest stuff and I haven't even done that much Final Quest stuff. So today I'm going to be talking about After Hours, which is one of my other really big projects. Since this channel is about game design, I have pretty much concluded I need to do more stuff about my games and the changes I make, because it's really about my experience to it. So I might start making vlogs and stuff, but that's kind of cringy, so I don't know. Now, games either come from a mechanical standpoint or a thematic standpoint. So when I made Aura Portal, I did it from a mechanical standpoint of I want to make this game simple. Final Quest was a little bit of both, but mostly theme. I had an idea for the story, so there's a lot. It was more of a theme, and this one was very strongly a theme game. After Hours is based off Catan, because I'm a piece of trash. Because I usually play a lot of Catan because it's really simple to explain to like family and friends who usually play games and gets them involved and stuff. So anyway, I got kind of bored. I need to play the expansions to make it less boring, but the luck factor in the game is something that makes it very good and bad, because it's fun, because it's very random, but it's also bad because it can screw you over. So the game is mechanically kind of Catan on steroids. Now thematically, the game is about the apocalypse, and this came from the beginning of my sophomore year when I was looking around during gym class and I saw some really arrogant kids, and I was like, wow, they are douchebags. And that kind of gave me the idea of where the world is going and what happens after I graduate high school. Stuff like that is where the apocalypse and downfall of humanity kind of comes from. Just seeing what's going on in today's day and age. So there are 4 factions starting out, and I love factions and stuff like that. So, as you can see by all 3 of my main games, they all have decks or factions or something, which I really need to work on making a game without those, but that's just my favorite thing, because of expansions and stuff. It's just replayability, finding what works for you, I really, really like. So there are 4 factions. Tigers are Wrath, Bears are Pride, Owls are Prejudice, and finally, Rats are Dishonesty. So those are the 4 factions in the game. I had a bunch of ideas for like 10 factions, and then I was like, oh my god, I have too many ideas, I need to cut it down. So that's where it started. I made this game at the beginning, so basically summer into the end of winter of sophomore year-ish, I made 3 games, so Aura Portal, Final Quests, After Hours, and I haven't really made a full game since because I've just been tweaking them, which I should keep creating, but I haven't really been doing much, honestly, which is why I need to start doing stuff. Yeah, so let's get into the game. Alright, okay, so here's, well, right here just says Animal Game, because I did not have a name for it, and After Hours is just, I don't know if that's going to be the official name, but here it is, and it's in a Bud Light box. I would not recommend underage drinking. This is just an extra box we had over from a party, a barbecue where adults were drinking. Thank you very much. So this is just scrap. There are a lot of tiles in this game. So here we go. I'm just going to pull out the 4 main factions here, and I did leave my binder upstairs for this. I should probably go get that. But I'll show that off maybe a different time. Actually, I probably will show it off in this video. So let's just get one of the factions here. I'm gonna go with Bears, first one I made. So the first one I had an idea for. So here is the board for each faction. So each board has their own little board, and it connects to another board. So let's say, just do another one on here. I think this game can be played 2 to 4 players, because I did try it with 2 and it did work. I thought it would only be 4, but it's okay. Because this works too. So they would be connected like that, because you can interact with the other boards. There's the board, which expands depending on how many players there are. The VP cards. These are victory point cards, obviously. Here are your tiles. These are all the things you can build on your board. Keep in mind this is similar to Catan, so it is pretty Euro. There are here's trading. There is military, which I'm not sure I want to put in, but it's there. Anyways. Resource cards. Instead of everyone having the same resources, each faction has their own resources, which do special things depending on who has them. So if the Bears have their resource, it's mainly a building card, but if you trade it to another player, it has a special ability. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would you trade? When you trade with another player, they either have to trade stuff back, so you get new special abilities, or you get points for each card they don't give back, or each resource they don't give back. Personally, I think that's actually a great mechanic, but if you disagree, tell me how awful it is in the comments below. Finally, we have the event cards. So the event cards track time, and event cards, depending on what turn it is, proc a special ability. It can either be good or bad to help you complete your VP cards. Keep in mind the game takes place over an era of a kingdom, so there is a lot of stuff going on. Finally, in the box, we have all these little things, I guess, these little beads, I guess. They all represent different things. For example, the stars are military, little ovals are workers, big ovals traders, hearts are builders. So, let's just say we set up the game. Okay, so here I have set up the starting setup for the Bears. So the event card is set 1. This is gonna be hard to focus. I might actually just put it on the side, take a snip of it. But basically, it tells you your setup for the first turn. My VP card is Pride's Gift, and it says gain VP if you have over 5 Pride this turn. I just put stuff randomly, but I'd probably change it with something else. Alright, how about Split Nation? Gain VP if half your workers are on your tile. So hypothetically, this is over here. If I had, well, I guess it would be at least half. I would gain VP. Kind of a bad example, or I don't know, just stuff like that. So let's say I had 5 VP. I would put this card to the side and gain that many points at the end of the game. So here I have my starting setup. As you can see, I have Sapwoods, River, Bark Hollow. Those are all blue spaces. Those are your resource spaces, and that's where you gain your resources from. So we have Super Sap as a resource, Buff Bark. These are all resources that can be taken by the laborers, which are these small circles. Now, the hearts are your builders. When you have enough resources, you can build stuff. Now, unlike Catan, which this game is based off of, as I already said, these are all the things you can build. So you have all these things to build. So this is blue, which are just more resource stuff. Red is militia. These are supposed to be purple. Purple are your big buildings, really powerful stuff. Green is storage, and orange is special stuff that is only in your faction rule. So this would be Pride, for example. Pride is what Bears scale off of. So those are what the builders can build, and that you use the chart for that. Next up is greens, which are storage. You can't hold unlimited things in this game. The green spaces will tell you how much each green space holds in the capacity column. And that's how many resources you can hold. So you can't just stack and stack and stack and stack. The transporters are what gives you the ability to trade. I'm not going to go over what everything can do specifically. I'll go over worker actions in a separate video, but just know that they are what allows you to trade. So yeah, that is that. Orange, like I said, gives you those special bonuses. If I move that out of the way, the timeline of the game is very important, and I set that up earlier. So set 1 and set 5, that has to go on turn 1, that has to go on turn 5. But anything that says 2 through 9, you can put in between that. At the start of your turn, you get to rearrange them as well. Those are VP cards, which are your objective for the turn. You get points by doing a lot of things, such as completing VP cards, obviously, and your buildings count for points. Now, a big problem with this game is just how complex it is. Similar to Final Quest, it's very, very big. There's a lot of things going on. Well, I actually think this game is more complex than Final Quest, because Final Quest is way more streamlined, and you have to just play against your opponent, which actually kind of simplifies it. In this, it's more Euro, and you're playing a lot of the game yourself, so there's so many little number things going on, and so many actions that are going on. A lot of the VP cards are close to, if not impossible to complete, so I'm gonna have to go into that a lot and fix that, but I'll be making videos on that, and my design process and everything, so that is a big problem. There are a lot of special characters that I don't think are going to work because it's just way too complicated. I might just remove them from the game entirely, or only make one of them. So yeah, it depends on what I do with that, but I don't know. Basically, like, a lot of them are just way too complicated, and it complicates the game even more. I could make an expansion with them, or I can just streamline them and make them a lot simpler, because there are your basic actions, and then there's your heroes, I guess. But a lot of them die, like, even if they don't die, but then I don't even know how that works. So I'm gonna have to figure that out as well. Another thing is, do I want militia in the game? I think militia is really interesting because it's supposed to be Euro, but you can still, like, destroy other things. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, because that's not really Euro, but even then, if I take them out, it's gonna be weird, because you're gonna have unlimited space to build. I guess there's no really risk or reward. Some of the buildings can destroy buildings, but I don't know, I want to make it really hard. I don't want to make militia overpowered or anything. If anything, I want them to be really minute, small part of the game. So I either have to, like, nerf them really, really hard to make them not that big a part of the game, or I honestly don't know. A big problem with the game, honestly, is that I came up with the idea thematically and not mechanically, so getting the mechanics down is very difficult when I really made the game based off of the story of it. But I think it's very important that I keep making videos on tweaking stuff, because that is kind of fast and not difficult to make, and keeps notes of what I'm doing. So that is very important, and I've only done that for Final Quest once or twice. But there's, like, different types of videos I like to make. I don't really want to get into that now, but yeah, I don't know. I actually really like video editing, so bigger projects are fun, but they take longer to get out, and I have no time ever. So that is the overview of After Hours. Before I go, I just want to give a big, not shout out, but I'll probably make a separate video on this. However, that sounds really negative. Basically, I am part of English. I'm part of a group, or gamer group, I guess, and we made a website called UpDownGamers. We're mostly video game, or all video game oriented stuff, but it's me and my friends, and it's gonna be awesome. Give them all a follow. I'll link them in the description, but I've known them for a really long time, and they are awesome dudes. They came over a few weekends ago, and we played a ton of Cosmic, and it was so much fun. So they're really great guys. Give them all follows on, like, all social medias, and I'll link all that garbage. But basically, it's gonna be just articles and videos and all that good stuff about gaming from a really good group of people. None of us are professionals. Some are better than others, but I'm definitely not one of them. But yeah, it should be fun. So check that out. Anyway, that is it for today. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.